Good evening. Welcome to the show of love, where love is filled in the atmosphere. Welcome to today's program and today's episode of Atmosphere of Love. It's a program brought to you by Glorious Marriage International in conjunction with the Marriage Builder. It's a program of love, as I've said, and it brings love to your homes, your marriages, and your relationship. In the studio here, we discuss about issues pertaining marriages, pertaining couples, pertaining in-laws, all that pertains marriages. Sit back, enjoy the show for today. I am Ola Sumbo, Stephen, bringing the show to you this Wednesday evening. You can join us every Wednesday evening by 8:30 p.m. for the show on our Facebook handle. With me in the studio, I have the counselor and is Princess with me here in the studio and is in person of Pastor LK Ayodele and Mrs. Eunice Ayodele. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Today's discussion, we are going to be discussing about survivor in the time of national crisis, like we have presently in this period. How is it possible for marriage, for relationship, for spouses to survive during this period? This will be our discussion for today. So I believe you are going to learn a lot from today's program. Now, moving forward to today's program, I have slated questions here to be answered by the counselor and his wife pertaining how to survive in this national crisis. So, we believe that this time of crisis we are having all over, we are going to learn how to handle this present situation in order for it not to cause any issue or bring breakage in our relationship. Now, to the question for today. The first one says, is it possible for love of spouses to remain the same in this time of national crisis? Are we sure that the depression, the situation we are having all around in this present time will not cause chaos, will not cause disagreement, or bring something unexpected into our marriages? This will be the question that will be answered by a counselor. Sir.
Thank you.
Hmm.
When we are talking of crisis, we have concerning marriage, internal crisis and external crisis. Like what is going on in Nigeria today, it is national crisis and not marital crisis. Therefore, I would say that the love of spouse can survive, can even be increasing in the time of this national crisis if they do not allow the effect of the crisis to really encroach to their marital intimacy. If they don't allow their affairs as husband and wife to be affected by the crisis, if they do not allow the effect of this crisis to cause them to be nasty, to be hostile, to be aggressive to each other. So if they can maintain their balance, I believe it do not affect their marriage love.
Ma, talking about increasing of love in this time where the trials and the crisis of a whole lot for scarcity, cash scarcity, bad network, how is it possible or how easy will it be for a woman to increase in love and not being affected by all of this?
The area we like to stress is if they have been loved before the sudden approach of crisis that is termed external should not, wash away their love just like that, except when there was no love before. But if there had been love and the situation is like this, they should be able to maneuver their activities around the situation lovingly, making sure the love in the home is genuinely protected. Because they should be sure that after the crisis, if they have allowed the love to be carried away by the flood of the crisis, they may not be able to call the love back easily again. Therefore, they should stand and withstand the pressure, not to allow it to cause depression or any catastrophe within the confine of their home. It is true there may be lack of this, lack of that, but what are those things, little things a woman can do, the husband can do to make sure the situation did not affect their home? For instance, they want to collect money and the children want to pay school fees. What are the steps to be taken? They can go to the school and explain. If they have not been regular debtors before, the school will understand. They want to buy things in the neighborhood, they can still get those who can help, who can assist. Then they can go out with transfer. Those who still allow it can still solve their problem. And as much as possible, if a woman is so prudent and knows how to manage things, the thing didn't come suddenly. It was coming, we were looking at it. Is it like this? Is it like this? A wise woman will have plan as little as their economy can avoid. But in case of emergency, like a woman that was sick and the husband want to treat her in the hospital and there was no money, that one can cause problem. But notwithstanding, they should have friends or relation that can come to their aid as at that time to make sure that things still work out as it ought to. Love must reign. We should not allow this situation to break the love strength.
Now, if love does not exist before and crisis like this now arise, won't it lead to separation? And afterwards, they are now planning to come together. Is there going to be a remedy for the situation?
There is no situation that is new under heaven. If we have been trying to make sure that love exists and is unable to, it's not possible, and something like this happen, it will just be like you had petrol to the burning fire. Therefore, this situation can break home steadily without any when the wife is already tired of the situation and the husband comes and is telling story, cook and boo, who cares? So there will be more problem and the situation in their home will be aggravated negatively. And this is the reason why from the word go, let there be love. Thank you.
But at times, negative situation like this may even bring them together. It's possible. I'm not saying it's normal when there's no love before, but nevertheless, maybe 1 in 100 marriages, situation like this may, make them to now feel together. And it may be this time that the wife will now demonstrate a certain ability to keep the family floating. Then that's why we now say, so I have a good wife like this, I need to now continue to respect this woman. Then the thing is done. But it's not, as he said, it's not easy. When there was no love before and this thing happened, to survive would be an Herculean task. But nevertheless, 1 in thousands is possible that this may bring them together in love, and they will now discover that so love can exist between us like this. Then they continue after the situation.
In the area where something like that will happen, it means the wife has been so loving before, while the husband has been behaving
Irrational.
nastily.
Yes.
Therefore, now that the situation is no hot, a prudent wife is now making sure that the family have something to eat, that the family can still manage this or that. It is then the eyes of the nasty husband can now be opened and now say, so but when the two of them are always at loggerheads, it will be so difficult.
It could also be that the man is on the love side and the
While the
woman
woman is
is
nas-
on
vice
their
versa.
side. And looking at the present situation, she finds that the man is handicapped to whatsoever is happening, and she might also calm down and find a way around it. Then it will be a way of bringing them together
Yeah,
in the
it's a
perfect
possibility.
way. So, what are the safety tips we can suggest to couples in this period?
For instance, part of the safety tips is making sure that you love your husband, you love your wife to the extreme. So if it's going to even reduce, you still be at the balance.
And you can also, as much as possible, learn how to manage. If in the past you have been spending on things in a higher level, maybe more than necessary, now that even you have money in bank, you cannot withdraw. Even if you are selling, you cannot sell because you don't accept old currency. Fuel is there. When these things, they are compounding problem. So what they need to do now is the little they have, they must conserve it and manage it effectively. They can even check their diet and adjust their diet because they don't know the time this time will end. Then, on the other hand, they can also strive to make sure that they carry their children along. Children, because some children may not know what is going on now. But if they tell them, children, we are passing through crisis in Nigeria, we have money in bank, we cannot withdraw, and so on and so forth. Therefore, whatever your mom gives to you, please manage it. Don't waste food, don't waste this and that. Even in school, you go and tell them in school, this, that, so that they will not send it out of the school. Then, if they have been demanding maybe, say, 100 naira pocket money, 500 naira pocket money, they can reduce it to what they can afford. So that they will understand that as at now, dad and mom did not have enough money because of the crisis, not because they ate them. So they will be ready to manage with them around this period to just skate through this turbulent period of national crisis.
Also, the husband and wife should be good in their neighborhood. When they have good relationship with the neighbors, it will go a long way to help some situation too.
And I will also suggest, this is not a time that the wife will fold up because of the crisis. Because at times,
Tension release.
when you make love in a time like this, that tension that the husband is carrying from outside will just cool down.
And the
But
tension the wife is carrying in the house will always cool down.
yes, it cools down on the two sides. So the wife should not fold up. Service your husband lovingly, cheerfully, willingly. And when you service your husband, I believe everything
Service your
will.
wife too.
Okay, he was telling me that husbands should service their wife. Of course, it's always on the side of women most of the time.
Yes.
But it's difficult for husband to just fold up anytime. But
Some men
They
do, sir.
they
Some men do fold up.
Hey, they
that
do.
is too bad. That is too bad
When they
because
are not happy.
that is why men is more wired to respond to love quickly and to withdraw. That is women, of course. But men, the way God created man with little tip, man is off, a man is on. So if he loves the wife nothing can make him not to make love with the wife. Even when the wife offends him, he will still make love with her. Therefore, anyway, let the two of them show love to each other.
Okay. So to crown it up now, it has been said that love covers all things. That with love we can conquer this present crisis in our homes and in the marriages, even with the children being carried along. So, with this for today, we've come to the end of today's program of Atmosphere of Love. We've said, allow love in your marriages, as said by the counselor, in order for your marriage not to be carried away by the this national present external crisis we are facing in this nation. For further inquiry, questions, counseling, enlightenment, you can reach out to the counselor via 080 330 70986.